Hello everyone, I am Duke James. This is Hungary in 3.0. So an interesting thing to me is that there's no time limit to supporting the burgers. There's limits to the specific ones that you do, but you could pretty much, I could just give all of these back to the burgers almost immediately. So we can give them property, which I don't want to do. Employ a statesman, which I don't want to do because that apparently sets us down a dangerous path. So we could either pardon smugglers or support burger autonomy. So we would lose stability if we do this, and we would gain monthly autonomy change, stability increase interval, but the burgers would gain plus 20 loyalty. And then pardoning smugglers would give 10% burger power added to local corruption and 7.5 loyalty, some yearly corruption. In the 2.52, burgers gaining power isn't that bad, so I don't think it's that bad in this one. I'm going to go ahead and support burger autonomy. We'll find out. So we lose stability, but there's something called a grain dole. So we can completely fund food provision for all commoners, apparently at a great cost, ensuring no one starves in these unstable times. So that would give plus 25% progress towards stability. We could also provide temporary tax relief, which would give 50% progress towards stability. It would provide 3 years of tax relief to all subjects from state taxes. Or we could give them land. I'm going to go ahead and provide a grain dole. So we have 8 ducats worth of taxation. Because I figured this gives 25% progress towards stability, some national unrest, -3, stability increase interval, -30%, and it keeps the peasants from dying. So I'm going to try this out, see how much money it takes. We get that stability point back. I assume it's on the yearly tick as well, because we just gained 0.8 ducats, so unless people start giving us money for some reason. Alright, so back to this province. Farmlands is now 536, so it is decreasing as we would expect. It looks like it's making the industrial decrease as well, probably because the goods cost more. Because the textile, processed material, and armament industries, I think the fuel and raw inputs are costing more. And the fiber inputs probably costing more as well, which is causing those to decrease in profitability. Also increased the labor, although they require urban. I think they were always high, because there was always an urban labor shortage here. Let's support the nobles. So we could arrange a strategic marriage. They would gain 5 influence, which is something that I don't want to do because I want the aristocrats to go. Ideally, I want the bureaucrats to take over, or the metropolitans. Bureaucrats have nothing, and the metropolitans have nothing. I'm not sure why the bureaucrats aren't gaining, because they do have plus 0.18. Could disown a an unpopular relative. That would decrease our legitimacy even more. It's pretty much in the tank right now. This would cause influence to increase by 10. And would give aristocratic influence 0.05 every year. Well, we're kind of with the aristocrats, so I'm going to go ahead and just do that. That did decrease the reduction in... Alright, wait, 443. The reduction in the estate's loyalty, or the power broker's loyalty, I should say, did decrease the maximum manpower from about 14,000-ish to 10,400. So they are willing to give less money. They're less willing to spend as much money raising and training troops for the state. Alright, so either grain dole is broken, or it only costs us 0.3 ducats. We're losing 2 ducats. I know decreasing manpower is something you don't want to do. But we are over our force limit, so that's actually costing 0.38. Go ahead and delete a troop. Deleting troops, pretty much not a problem. Alright, so our manpower increased back up to 12,000, so we got about 2,000 extra manpower by making the nobles happier. The aristocrats are pretty much firmly entrenched, though. We could get the spiritualists. They're at 34. They're actually increasing by 0.11. I think that's monthly. Yeah, that's monthly. So I'm not sure how long that'll take, but they will eventually take over. Which aristocrats are spiritualists? Aristocrats probably better. Alright, so I still think investing is worthwhile. Just don't throw a lot of ducats. Probably 10 or 20 ducats here or there to try and increase your size of your industries. I think anything more than maybe 50 ducats probably throws it so out of whack. It throws the labor supply and demand so out of whack that it causes it to go negative. Let's go ahead and provide temporary tax relief as well. We'll see what that does. See, I don't think the lower classes don't really pay that much, so you can give those to the grain dole and the tax relief out, at least at the start of the game, and you'll get a lot of stability points for not a lot of cost. And those are probably good to do anyway because you're helping your peasants live by taxing them less and giving them food. So that'll help increase the peasant population. Yeah, the peasantry natural change is now 538. So I think it went from like 300 to 400 to 500. So the peasants are increasing. There's about 2,000 more from when we built our stuff. The resources are still decreasing, though. I think maybe just because farmlands compared to the cost of labor is not high enough to do that, but I think mines, you might be able to do it. Because mine goods, at least gold and silver, sell for a lot more. They're highly profitable. Like 200 mines in this province make, or 200 units of mines make 115 ducats profit. Which we own 35% of, so we make 41 ducats. Actually, let's check out, what's our total population? Growth, tenant size 1,579, natural change 1.9, inward movement 2.4, outward movement 1.1, fighting age men. I think that actually might just be this province. Let's see, if I deselect that, does it automatically select the entire country if I want to conduct a census? This is different, but its size is less. So I don't think so. Let's see now. All right, there we go. Size 4,293. I assume that's 4,293 families. Natural change 4, inward movement 3, outward movement 3.8. I think this is migration, I want to say. Fighting age men 426. Yeah, so that doesn't talk about the total population. You can check out the individual power brokers. So your stability is in the bureaucrats. State reach. Our state reach is 6.24%. Provincial corruption is 54%. Then it breaks it down by the sources and the source multipliers. Autonomy 1.58 times. Wages, other. The national income. So the revenue is 306 ducats minus costs related to tax farming, wages, and corruption. So it's 144. Okay, and then property is 160. The bureaucrats own... See, I don't know if that's bureaucrats or the state. I think it's the state owns 4% and 8% of the mines. No finished goods. Burgers have 21% power, 45% loyalty. They have 8,202 ducats worth of wealth. They make 320 a year. They have 1.71% share of land and 23% of the share of industrial, academic, and commercial property. That makes sense. The clergy has 50% power, 42% loyalty, 18,454 ducats of wealth. They make 900 ducats a year. They have 26% of the rural resource. They have 51% of the urban resources. They have a stranglehold over the academic. That makes sense. Clergy teach people. And the nobility have 64% power, 34% loyalty. 11,000 ducats worth of wealth, 27% of the rural share of land, 10% of the finished good, the urban stuff. I don't think that share of land adds up to 100%, so I don't think this is actually... Not sure if that's state or us. Because the bureaucrats don't show up as owning stuff. But I feel like we would have more than 8% or whatever it was. Just because we seized half the nobles' mines. And then I was looking at these. It's kind of like the slider in Crusader Kings 2. So there's like... This one, if I do this green noble one, instead of giving money, the nobles would give cash, pretty much. No, instead of giving money, they would give levies. This one, they would give less levies, but they would give more cash. So it's kind of like the laws in Crusader Kings 2. And then depending on these laws, you can do different kinds of taxes, which makes sense, because if the nobles are giving you levies, you're not going to be able to tax them cash-wise. So that's why the taxes are locked behind these. The thing that I want is this one, tax farming 1 to state tax farming 2. That would give some base tax efficiency, tax revenues transferred to elites based on power share, or less tax revenue transferred to elites, and +1 base welfare. So all of these are good right here. Actually, all of these are good. Pretty much everything we can't do is good, and everything we can do is bad. For the most part. Not much has happened in the world. Fars did inherit the Chupinids. Damn AI. Did what I didn't do. Moldavian Revolt. So we could either declare war on them with independence, or they would declare war on us with the independence CB, or we lose 5 prestige. And their void is formidable. I really butchered that word. But a ruler alone does not a principality make. I think I'm allied with... Yeah, we're going to take back control. Go ahead and decrease the admin cost. Decrease it to like 22. Just a random number. It's more than 12, less than 25. We'll do light looting. Let's take these troops off. All right. The income is decreasing. The negative income is decreasing, so it's getting more profitable. It's going to be a long time, actually. I'm sure there's got to be some balance there. Otherwise, I'm thinking being tall might not be as doable if you can't support your own industries and grow them. If you have to wait. Then the only way to really get powerful, especially since migration is not in the game, would be to conquer and go tall. Our troops have managed to capture Suret amidst the frightened eyes of its citizens. You must now decide its fate. We can loot them or spare them. Go ahead and spare them. These are Austria's troops, so they can go ahead and fight. Of course, January 12th is when all the calculations happen. If I wanted to, I could take the next techs. They're actually comparatively pretty cheap. But if I embrace commercialization, I'm going to get those for a laughably small number. Yeah, so I was wrong. Civilian casualties are based on losing territory. Military casualties based on the losing troops in battle or through attrition. So we've had 42 notables die, 776 rurals. Get those guys back over there. We got a stability point. I think next I'm going to try to build amenities. Let's go ahead and cancel all of these selections. Select individually. Construct buildings, you go to amenities. It's rank 3 right now, so you do rank 4. And rank 4 amenities costs 1,492 ducats. So we are not going to do that. I don't think I actually have to build it anyway because the cap is, I think, 80,000. There's only 12,000 living there. Alright, we're going to just directly take all of their territory. They've lost life privileges. And I'm going to end this part here. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.